Hey guys, Jackie, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I do my everyday fall soft glam. This is a look that I've been going for recently. It is super easy to do and affordable, so if you want to know how I created this look, then keep on watching. I have already primed my face with moisturizer and went in with my favorite primer. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I recently got another tube because I just love this stuff so much. It locks your makeup in all day long and it doesn't accentuate any dry patches that I have, which I do get in the winter time. This is definitely one of my year-round favorite primers to use. Then for the face, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Filter. I have it in the shade 5 Medium Tan. Because I am a bit lighter in the cooler seasons, I do like this to kind of like bronze up my entire face. I find out the formula dries really quickly, so I usually go in with a mist before I pat everything in. This one is by badescu. I like to really saturate everything on the face and then going in with a sponge. I'm just gonna tap everything in. Notice how I generally avoided the under eye area because we're going in with concealer and I usually don't like stacking it, making it look cakey, so I usually leave that little area. For concealer, I'm going in with this e.l.f. Flawless Concealer. I have it in the shade Medium Sand. I do switch between this one and the Maybelline one, as you guys all know, but I feel like I like the wand on this better and it really like gets into where I need it to get to. I've seen this TikTok trend where you don't put concealer directly in like the crease area. You kind of like avoid that little like bump you get when you squint. And by doing that, by concealing like right below that, your concealer won't really crease. And I have had issues with concealer creasing on my under eye area for the longest time. Like I don't know what it is. I think it's just that I have so many folds there and it's usually the area that's like the least moisturized, if that makes sense. So I found this trick really does help brighten up the under eye area without accentuating any of my wrinkles and my bags in general. Then for bronzer, I'm going in with this e.l.f. Cream Contour Palette. I have it in like the deeper shade. I really love the formula of this. It's super creamy. For today, I'm gonna go into the deeper shade right here. A little does go a long way, so I usually start pretty light-handed. And then using the same sponge, we're just gonna tap everything into place. It gives you like such a nice flush of color. It does blend away like a dream, so you don't have to worry too much about going light-handedly or not, but I usually like mine to be a bit more diffused, especially for like a everyday look. And then for blush, I do go in with like 2 different ones because I like to mix the tones of them. The first one I go into is this one by Colourpop. It's super cute in the packaging, but my only complaint is that this packaging is so hard to open. I feel like if the top part was more flat, like I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like if the bottom part was also a bit puffier, you would have more of a grip in the front. I always struggle with this because it's like, how the fuck? It takes a lot, okay? Especially with nails on. So we're just gonna go into like our higher cheekbones with this color. For an everyday look, I don't want too dramatic of a blush, so I usually concentrate that in the cheekbone area. Again, it just adds like the slightest hue of blush, but we're gonna intense that with another blush. This one is by e.l.f. as well. This is their Bite Size Duo and I have it in the shade Spiced Apple. I love this blush because it's kind of like a warm tone mauve, and I love layering this one with the Colourpop one because it just kind of like gives you a nice combination of both. It's not too warm, but it's also not too cool. I recently changed up how I set my makeup. I bought a little puffy thing. I know the e.l.f. one is like sold out everywhere, so I got this one from Amazon, I think. I got a whole pack of like 8, and I feel like the material is kind of similar. It's like a little fuzzy material. I take my handy trusty translucent powder. I usually pour some onto the cap. Then I'm going to use like the top of the triangle to dip into it. This is the part where I bake my cheekbones. I'm just going to outline it super lightly. And then I'm going to drag below from that line. So we're going to set like the bottom half of our face first. And then to set the rest of our face, we're just going to dip this little patty thing in there. Tap off the excess as much as we can. And then we're gonna start with the T-zone because I'm usually the most oily in that area. I love using this especially around the nose because the point of it just kind of gets into the crevice. So I usually just like to press the powder in there. And then now we're just gonna brush off the bake. I also like to do my upper lip because I do tend to sweat a lot there. And voila, I think it's like a nice subtle little baking action there. Now that there's not much left on the applicator, I'm just gonna go over our cheekbones ever so lightly. Just kind of like mesh everything in. I don't drag because that's just gonna mess it up obviously. So I usually just tap it in. And just the tiniest amount into the under eye area. Again, like, don't bring it all the way up into like this little fold over here. We want to go right below it. Now that our face is done, we're going to start with the eyes, so let's take a look. I'm going to prime my eyes with a bit of that Flawless concealer that we just used. I do get discoloration on my eyelids, so I love using a concealer or even like an eyeshadow primer to kind of just have an all over even base before we start. We're starting off with this ColourPop palette. It's called Baby Got Peach. I really love how bronzy and peachy all the shades are. We're going to start off with this shade called Darling. I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Next, we're going in with this shade called Perky. We're going to use this shade in the crease area slash outer V. And then I'm going to bring whatever is left over on the brush inwards onto our lid. Next, we're going to go into this Sephora Pocket Palette. I have it in the shade Copper Tones. And I'm going to dip it into that cool tone taupe over there. With this shade, we're going to focus it primarily on the outer V area. I'm going to bring that color ever so slightly into our lower lash line. And then to finish everything off, I'm going in with the shimmer from the Peach palette. I'm going to go in with this one called Glaze It. I love going in with my finger because honestly, I love feeling how buttery it is, but also I feel like you get a lot more control. So I'm going to put that right in the inner corner onto our lid. I'm going in with tapping motions because I don't want to disturb all the other colors. There is a little bit of fallout with the shimmer, so I'm just going to brush it away with like a powder brush. Next up, we're going to curl our lashes. I got this new one from SHEIN. It's super cute. It's like a mini paw print. And I love that it's travel friendly because this is the part where like you crank the applicator, but it closes up and then you get like this nice and sleek packaging. And I have read the reviews of this one curling your lashes super well, so I'm going to show you just how good it curls my lashes. This eye is done. Do you see a difference? It like makes my lashes super like wispy and opened eye. Then I'm going in with my Tarte Surfer Curl Mascara. I'm going to go in super lightly. Okay, next mascara is this one by YSL. It is their Lash Clash. I love the applicator of this one because I feel like it coats my lashes pretty well. Last but not least, we're going to finish it off with lips. I recently got this one and I am in love. It is the Ink Velvet by Peri Para. I have it in the shade 23. And I do love a bold, darker lip for the cooler season. I love the smell of this. It smells like candy. Do you know those candy necklaces? It smells like that, if you catch my Tokyo drift. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the look and I'll see you guys in the next one.